Yeah. So that's where I stand in a nutshell. Is the economy is the biggest issue to me. Oh, and by the way, when these people go back to work, they generally have health insurance coverage. And the percentage of people who don't have health insurance coverage right now, a lot of it, and I know you've already heard this, you people are informed, I'm obviously in front of an informed group of people, a lot of those people don't even want health insurance. They're younger people who are not looking to have, they're not looking for their future. They don't have 401ks either. Do we need to provide that for everybody at the government's expense? And I say no. Now, I didn't intend to stand up here and speak for a long period of time, and I'm not going to, but I will give you a real quick background. I'm going to open the floor for general questions. First of all, I already mentioned that I come from a background of motorcycling. I work in our automotive factory. I work in Greencastle, Indiana, in an automotive plant called Heartland Automotive. We build interior parts for Subarus that are built in Lafayette. What I do, basically, the best way to describe it is I'm the problem solver. In every factory, in every industry of any kind of job, there's always somebody who you go to for all the answers. Somebody who's not willing, who's not afraid to make a decision when other people are unwilling to do so. I'll cancel a truck if I think the weather's going to be a problem and make up for the shipment in some other fashion. And I'm not afraid to make those decisions. So people come to me to solve computer problems. They come to me to solve their printer problems. They come to me to make personnel decisions on who should go where in what area when we have an absence. I got somebody that I forgot was going to be on vacation. What do I do? Okay, you shuffle these people around, and that's what you do. I'm that guy. I'm the problem solver in the plant. I take care of our customer needs. When they call and they need some extra parts that they didn't know they were going to need, I'm the guy who fixes it so that they have what they need. So, given that, my nickname is MacGyver for a reason. And it's a motorcycling thing. I welded something together with jumper cables and a penny one time, and nobody ever got over it, so it's only MacGyver since. I do, to point of phrase, think outside the box a lot. I believe that I can do the best job in Washington of ferreting out the waste, the expense that we as taxpayers do not need to burden ourselves with, and to get rid of. And before you ask the question, I mean, again, I've heard these questions, so I'm going to answer a couple of them right away. One of the most popular is, what can one person do? It's not just me, it's what the rest of the nation has decided to change the face in Congress, and every 2 years everybody gets a new session here of new people. They can. And if we as Americans elect 100 or 200 new congressmen in Washington, then 100 or 200 people will be our voice, not just mine. And that's what we need to keep in mind, is that I'm not just one person. I'm not going to be. I'm going to be united with a lot of like-minded individuals coming from people just like you from all across the nation who want to do the right thing for this great nation of ours. Okay. So I work in an automotive plant. I come from a motorcycling background. I've also written ISO documentation. If any of you have ever been involved in international standards, I've written those kinds of documents. I do understand legalese. I do understand how to read it. I've read the health bill, the House version. I've read the House version. And I do understand what it is saying, and it's not a good thing. So it does have an abortion amendment in there, a Stupak amendment, but even that's not strong enough to me. So, that being said, those are my experiences. I'm not a politician. I don't intend to be. I'll be there for 8 years maximum, regardless of whether or not there is or is not a law, provided that people re-elect me. But after 8 years, I will not be up for re-election because I refuse to be. I'll try to get a law passed for term limits, but if I'm not successful, I'm still leaving after 8 years. I have a contract with the 8th District that I've written, and I have some copies of it over here. Adam, if you'll hand me. Just real quick, I signed this contract a while back. I introduced it at the beginning of this month. And when you're in business, I know you're a business owner, you write goals down. You write them down, that your business goals for the next 6 months or for the year, and you put them in a drawer. And you refer back to them from time to time. If you've been involved in any type of business management at all, it's the only way you can stay on track with your business plan. Otherwise, you get sidetracked and you get into other areas and you forget what's most important. Am I right? So what I've always done is every year I make a list of goals of what I want to accomplish, and I put them in my drawer. Every month I refer back to it. Is what I'm doing this month going to get me closer to my year-end goals? And if it's not, then I scrap that idea and move on to the next plan, because I've got to make sure that I stay on track with my goals. Otherwise, I'll find myself out of work. Okay? I will not succeed. So these are my pledge that I will put in my drawer and refer to them from time to time, every month, to make sure that what I'm doing is right for the constituency. I'll introduce and support legislation that delivers a balanced budget for the President to sign. I will not vote for any legislation that increases the national debt. And I adhere to that. I will not vote in favor of any bill that has pork barrel spending in it. And I'm going to tell you up front, I mean that promise even if it means money coming back to the 8th District, because it's wrong. If it's right money, even for the 8th District, it'll stand on its own. It does not have to be pork under some other unrelated bill. I will introduce and support legislation that will allow drilling anywhere in the United States and build more coal, nuclear, and natural gas plants to develop our energy independence and create jobs. I will introduce and support legislation that cuts personal and corporate income taxes, capital gains, and inheritance tax, and that includes eliminating those capital gains tax completely. And finally, during the summer congressional recesses, I will hold town hall meetings in all 18 counties, not by phone, unless you can't get there, and I'm more than happy to talk to you at some other time. I work for the people, and I need to hear what they have to say, and that's why I will do all of these promises. So, that said, and you can have a copy of these. For those of you who want, I've got a few copies of this contract. If you want to hold on to it and hold me to it, I have no problem with that. I've got some signed copies over here.